Are you searching for direction in life? Have you given all of yourself to everyone else and have very little for yourself? Have you put you on the back burner while taking care of the responsibilities of everything and everybody else while neglecting yourself? Life coach and mentor Mischell Gee has told us the wait is over. In this new movement called the Green Room, she's assembled friends of every walk of life that will share with us transformative principles that will change our life trajectory. Come join us for the Green Room experience. Your life will never be the same.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Green Room. Yay! We're in the Green Room. What is the Green Room? The Green Room is our gathering place. It's where me and my sister friends get together and we encourage each other. It's a birthing center. It's where dreams come forth, where ideas are put in a pot and stirred up, and we see what we get when we come back outside. This is where it happens. This is in the Green Room. The Green Room is wherever we are. It moves from place to place. It's at my house this week. It's at your house next week. Just call me when you have the Green Room. The Green Room moves around. The Green Room is not about a place. It's about a purpose. It's about women that are empowering each other. They're speaking life to each other, and that's what we do here in the Green Room. And so everybody that comes on the Green Room, we get into our weight story, and I tell a weight story, and I'm going to ask you one. And so my best friends are in the audience tonight, my two best friends, and I'm going to do this weight story in honor of them. Weight, things we wait on. We were single parents and we were raising our children, and it wasn't always easy. And so we had to do a lot of waiting. Wait, do you get paid this time? Because this time you're going to pay the light bill. Wait, do I get paid the next time? Because the next time I'm going to buy groceries for everybody. We had to do a lot of waiting. But the biggest wait we did was wait till these children grow up. Happy to say they grew up and they working. Lord God, they working, people's attorney. These children working. My daughter's in the audience. My goddaughter's in the audience. They working. We can borrow money from them. They can do stuff. We waited. The wait was good. The wait is over. And so if you can give us your wait story, what's your wait story?
You know, I have had so many wait stories. But before I go into my story, I just want to thank you again for inviting me here. This is just such a beautiful forum, just a safe space to help each other, encourage each other, and just a moment to be very transparent and talk about where we've come and where we're going. Yeah. So thank you so much again.
Thank you for coming.
So just one of my weight stories is probably for about half of my practice, I spent a lot of time doing hard down criminal defense. And with that, I mean, it's a fantastic practice. You learn how to try cases, you know, helping the people, hence they call me the people's attorney. But with that, it can be very, very taxing. And in about 2006, 2007, y'all remember when the economy tanked? Mm-hmm. And with that is people started not hiring criminal defense attorneys. Is they just didn't have any money. As they said, I need to take care of my family. I'd rather go with a public defender as opposed to hiring my own private lawyer. So what that did for my practice tanked. You're talking about pretty much 100% of my clients being criminal defense clients. Clients that prior to the economy tanking, they were on a payment plan. So certainly, you know, the economy tanks, they just didn't have any money to pay. Well, where that left me was I didn't have any recourse. I had to sell my house. I had to move in with a friend and live on a couch. And it was devastating for me. You know, as I look at it and I say, you know, all of these degrees, the 7 years I spent in school, all of the sacrifices, and I'm relegated to this moment where I have nothing really except my name. But I kept my dream.
There you go.
And so with that is I kept pushing and pushing, and I saved my money and started to rebuild, you know, and I got off of the couch into an apartment.
Okay.
From that apartment, I spent years in that one-bedroom apartment, still pursuing my dream and still working my plan. And I transformed my criminal defense practice into a personal injury practice.
All right.
Literally, I went from chasing dollars to chasing millions.
There you go.
And so that has been really my weight story. I mean, I'm so grateful for having gone through that. And I always like to encourage young women, young men, never give up on your dream. Things happen because life is going to happen, but you can never, ever, ever give up on you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was powerful, your weight story. That's one of inspiration to us all. It goes to tell you that it doesn't matter how much education you have.
Absolutely.
There are going to be storms, there are going to be trials that we're all going to have to go through. And it's not going through them. It's coming out on the other side and doing something like you're doing today, empowering these women. This is what we do in our sister circle. And so I brought you here to tell them today whether if it's legal. What's one thing that, as an attorney, as a injury attorney, that you wish our people knew?
I wish our people knew the importance of having insurance. Insurance, insurance, insurance.
Insurance, like Grandma used to say, insurance.
I
For the
was just
insurance
about
man.
to say that. You read my mind. Is, you know, the older generation, they believe in having insurance. Y'all have heard the stories. Grandma, the insurance man would show up at the house, and Grandma would go in the back and give her a little money to pay her insurance. Is somehow now we've lost the appreciation for insurance. Insurance allows you to be able to sleep well at night and have peace. I run into so many people, for example, people who've been injured in car accidents. And one of the first questions I ask is, do you have UM? And they say, well, what is UM? UM is underinsured motorist coverage. And what that does is, if someone hits you and they don't have insurance, or they don't have the right insurance, you can then file a claim under your own policy, your UM insurance, which is for you. So that is one of the things I think that is very tremendous in our community, that we understand the importance of having insurance and having enough insurance. It's pennies on the dollar. It's pennies on the dollar, but it will give you the peace that you need if something happens and if life happens.
That's good. Have some insurance. I like that. You wish we knew about insurance. Y'all know about insurance now, right? So we're going to get some insurance. Me and my sister friends going to get some insurance. Get some more insurance.
Please, get some more insurance. Is each of you should make sure that you have at least a $25,000 policy. So when you leave today, is on the back of your insurance card, there's a 1-800 number, whether it be Geico, Progressive, Allstate, any of the insurance companies. Call them and ask how much would it be to add my UM to my coverage. Because guess what? In Florida, our state, you don't have to have UM. In fact, in Florida, you don't have to have what's called bodily injury. So what that means is this. Just give me a moment. What that means is this, is that somebody can hit you, own the car. They may carry what's called PIP. Well, they have to carry PIP if they own the car. But you can try to go after them, and they say, I don't have the insurance to cover your injuries. So if they break your neck, okay, is you have no recourse, because in Florida, a car owner doesn't have to carry bodily injury. The only thing that a car owner has to carry is PIP. So you want to make sure that you equip yourself. I think we talked earlier about knowledge and having the understanding. And what we do after we have the understanding is today, if you didn't know, now you know, is make sure that you go out and you get UM coverage, because that will protect not only you, but that will protect your family.
So you got us covered in the car, and that's good, because some of us riding around here dirty like my dear. Some of us riding around dirty.
Yes, indeed.
We're going to do better. We're going to do
Yes,
better.
indeed.
But one thing that bothers me as a mother and as a community member is you see all of the shootings and all of the things going on in our neighborhoods, especially now at our schools, at the corner store, in apartment complexes. Would you talk to what kind of coverage, what kind of liability that owners have in reference to keeping you safe on their premises?
So in the state of Florida, and I'm so glad that you asked that, because this is an area of my practice that I'm very passionate about. What I've noticed here in our city is every morning I wake up, I look at the news and I see shootings on the sides of town where our people live. And that bothers me. That bothers me seeing it over and over again. Our children, our young people, even our elderly people being the victims of shooting. And so one of the things that I say is, number one, we've got to be very proactive when we decide where we're going to stay, ask the right questions, even to our loved ones. You know, very honestly, there's so many people who end up staying in apartment communities where if they had another choice, they would move. If they had credit, better credit, you know, maybe if they would not have had that felony offense, maybe if they would not have had those evictions and people would sit down and talk to them about how to pay your bills and how to make your budget and how to prioritize, they wouldn't be in the kind of situations which yields them to living in communities that are a war zone. I believe that each and every one of us deserve the basic right of our safety in your house and when you walk out of your house. Our children deserve the same rights. So what I can tell everybody is if something happens in a community where you stay at, where your loved ones stay at the corner store, you know, at the strip mall, if something happens where they're injured on the property of a business owner, call us, call me. I want to know about it each and every time. Because guess what? When those people are taking your rent, many times they're just pocketing it. They're not putting money back into your safety. They're not fixing the broken gates. They're not repairing the cameras. They're not giving more security and more GSO officers at night because it's a war zone. They're pocketing the money. So unless we do something about it each and every time it happens in our communities, we're part of the problem. I talk to so many families every day that say, Ms. Daniels, I just didn't know. Well, now you know. Anytime something happens, you have to agitate. That is the only way to affect change. That's the only way that the shift of power will happen. And how do we agitate? We file lawsuits, we go after their pocketbooks. If you're not going to do the right thing because it's simply the right thing to do, guess what? I'm going to get your money. And you're going to have to pay for it. And maybe if I get $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million, $10 million every single time it happens, you will be a little bit more motivated to do the right thing by us.
All right, that's good. That's good stuff right there. That's good stuff. So something happens. What's my first step? What do I need to do?
So if something happens, number one, call 911.
Okay. We'll do that.
The second thing is call me, call your girl, the people's attorney. Listen, you don't have to navigate this stuff by yourself. Quick story. Anytime these incidents happen, believe it or not, these apartment complexes, strip malls, convenience stores, gas stations, before 24 hours happens, they have a whole unit on the scene, gathering evidence, identifying witnesses who they claim saw what happened or what didn't happen, and gathering their items of defense because they know that give me about a couple of days, I'm coming for them, okay? So we've got to be proactive. I always say the best defense is a good offense.
Oh, yeah.
You go,
No, keep talking.
Okay.
Finish up. The best defense is the good.
okay, I'm sorry. I always say the best defense is a good offense. So anytime something happens, make sure that you contact an attorney like myself or walk you through each step of the way because their job is to give you as little money as possible. I had a case just recently, terrible case, they beat me up. I mean, they said, Ms. Daniels, I don't even know why you called us with this. Well, I called because this mother lost her child. She lost her child at an apartment complex, and his life matters. And this has been happening. This is not the first time this has happened. This happens literally every couple months in this same apartment complex. And they said from RIP, $0. We're not paying a dime. Well,
What happened?
last week, I had a change of tune. And that not a dime turned into $1.552 million for this family who lost their child in an apartment complex. And that's what happens when you agitate, exercise your rights because you know your rights.
And that's why they call her the people's attorney. Let's go to break.
So you've been watching the show. Would you like to be a content provider yourself and develop a show for the Inspire Network? Please give us a call today at 904-389-5592 or go to www.connecttv.info to submit a show idea.
Jacksonville, it's the Nothing But the Hits farewell tour of the Williams Brothers. November 5th at the Paxson Revival Center. With special guests, the Swanee Quintet, the Williams Singers, Keith Wonderboy Johnson, and more. Tickets $40 in advance, $50 at the door. VIP available. They're available at Eventbrite, CJ Records, or Paxson Discount Christian Bookstore. For info, call 904-813-0085.
Would you like to reach more people with your message, but it seems like you've reached the social media glass ceiling? Has it been a nightmare for you to have the content, but can't attract the right viewers? Are you frustrated because you're not getting the results that you desire? Let us give you a precise 72-hour plan that'll refocus your strategy with the Inspired Network Branding Department. We can take your business or project to the next level. For more information, give us a call.
You're watching the Inspired Network, and maybe you're watching us on social media. Immediately go to your Roku device, press Add Channel, and download us today.
Are you having trouble reaching the masses? Are you preaching messages and no one seems to be hearing you? There's only a few people on your Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. Then you need the Maximizer by Chrome Media. For more information about this advanced internet connecting technology, contact us today and see how we can help you reach thousands every week within 7 days. No additional equipment is needed and no need for advanced training. Go to MaximizerNow.org or call us at 904-389-5592.
Hi, I'm Lorenzo Patterson. This is my wife, Barbara Patterson. We are the owners of Excellent Housing, LLC. Now, in this business, we are real estate investors, of which we buy and wholesale houses, and we also remodel other owner houses. If you have a house that you need to be remodeled, we'll subcontract it and bring that house into beauty. We're asking you to look on our brochure on Facebook and check us out.
And the advantage that we have being real estate investors is that we are able to repair our own homes because my husband can subcontract. And so I'm excited. So just check us out, Excellent Housing LLC. We make it happen.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I'm sitting here with the people's attorney, y'all. I got the people's attorney.
Thank you.
I got all my girlfriends in order, my sister friends. We're networking, we're motivating, we're inspiring, we're educating, we're doing what we do. Oh, I'm honored. I'm in the presence of the people's attorney. Now, you know, you gave us all this good information, but you usually give out your phone number and tell us who's going to answer the phone when they call. You didn't give us none of that good stuff. Come on, give us the commercial.
Listen. Is y'all don't have to go through a receptionist. They call me the people's attorney because I love people. I love to talk to my people. I want to know every time something happens in our city so that we can do something about it, protect our young people. If something happens, y'all call me directly. You can call 833-33-BD-LAW. That's 833-33-BD-LAW. Or you can even call my personal cell phone number. It stays on 24/7. vacations and holidays. It's on. It will be on 4th of July. Is y'all give me a holler at area code 407-234-5956. That's area code 407-234-5956. I'd love to talk with you through whatever is going on. And listen, I'm a community resource. If I don't do it, I'm gonna try to hook you up with somebody who does.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's what I like about you. You just let you know, we've got to be okay with being experts in our field and operating as such. And I thank you for doing that here today. I see a question coming to the microphone, and let's see what's going on.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for your expertise. One thing that I've been made aware of really recently is, new Florida statute about loud music and basically providing opportunity for individuals to be pulled over because of their music being played at a loud volume. I was wondering, you mentioned about community policing and holding the individuals accountable. I was wondering what would be some of your advice for an individual who may have gotten pulled over because they were playing loud music, and how that conversation could be able to go?
That's a very excellent question, Wilsham. And this is so appropriate for these days and times. Again, early on in my career, I spent a lot of time doing criminal defense. And with that is, I saw that law enforcement had a way with our people of always saying things like, your tent looked too dark, or your music was too light or loud, or it looked like you crossed the stop bar, or they couldn't read something on your plates in the back. You know, those are all things that law enforcement, unfortunately, does in order to try to get us to stop the vehicle, okay, so that they can bother with us, you know. So what I say is this, is number one, you mentioned Michelle earlier about making sure that everything is in order when the stop happens. When law enforcement does stop, make sure that you do everything that you can to comply with their order, okay? So is your license and registration, make sure that it's visible. This is not the time that I'm going to necessarily kind of do a whole lot of arguing with them, because in these days and age, we know that this can be a matter of life and death. And we don't want to show any signs of agitation because right now racial tension is at, I believe, an all-time high. So we don't want to show any signs of agitation, and we want to make sure that we comply as much as possible with what they've asked of us. And then if you feel as if your rights have been violated, after the stop occurs and you go back to your home, you remember I talked about agitation and agitating, reporting and exercising your rights. You have the right to file a complaint with the Division of Law Enforcement that deals with internal affairs and community complaints. If you feel as if they've handled you inappropriately, if you feel as if they have targeted you in any way, go ahead and file those complaints, because it may not be necessarily relevant for your case, but it establishes a history about particular officers. Because these are not, unfortunately, many of the offenders, the people who are offending the spirit of these laws, are doing so, and it's a pattern of conduct. So again, make sure that you report the incident to law enforcement, follow up. Make sure that your license is always valid. Young people, pay your tickets. If you get a ticket, it is not optional that you pay it. Reason being is this: if you get a ticket and you don't pay it, what is eventually going to happen is the clerk's office is going to report that to the DHSMV here in Florida. And the DHSMV can then thereby suspend your driver's license until such time that that ticket is taken care of. Now that can be incredibly dangerous in a situation where you're stopped, and now what was something that was kind of illegit becomes a little bit more legit because you failed to pay a $99 ticket. So make sure that you take care and handle your own business by taking care of those little things. You know, Grandma used to say, the little things can turn into big things. So you want to make sure you take care of those little things so that you don't have any problems in the future. Great question. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. You know, a ticket is one thing, and we can, you know, collect some money and borrow up some money from mama and auntie and sister and brother and get those tickets paid. There seems to be, when you go to talking about representation for people of color, a thought that we can't afford to be represented. We think that we don't have the resources in order to hire an attorney, more especially a wrongful death attorney or injury attorney. Would you speak to how the finances work in relation to not having to give you something up front?
Absolutely. So in particular practices like my practice, when it relates to wrongful death, personal injury, which is car accidents, slip and falls, the negligent security cases, which are the apartment shootings, convenience store shootings, things of that nature. Those are things that you do not have to pay up front. I take those cases on what's called a contingency fee. So that means this is, unless I get you money, you don't owe me a dime. So with that is, I'm very discriminating about the kind of cases that I take, but I tend to be, because I'm a lover of people, sometimes I take cases I shouldn't take, because there are many times that you just have to do something. It may have to take that L, but I've got to do something to create the record that this officer acted inappropriately, or that I'm just not going to stand and allow my nephew or who could have been my cousin or my brother to get shot somewhere and not do anything about it. So those cases are on a contingency fee. Now, when it comes down to criminal defense, business law, family law, so that's child support, child custody, many of, in that practice area, that's when you have to go ahead and pay an upfront fee. But many lawyers will work with you to make sure that, you're getting the kind of representation that you deserve, and we'll put you on a payment plan to make sure that it's affordable, because we want to make sure that you get, you're able to actually exercise your own rights.
That sounds good, sounds good. Now I got a question, it's the $1 million question. How long is too long to come back and say something happened and I want to do something about it?
Great question. So here in Florida, the wrongful death statute allows for, you have to start within 2 years. So if someone is killed and you want to pursue an action on their behalf saying that they died wrongfully, you got 2 years to do it. You got 2 years to do it. That's a big deal. 2 years to do it. If you wait outside of that time, unfortunately, your claim is more than likely going to be barred. There are some exceptions to that rule. Now, in other injury cases, if you're just injured and the person does not die, you have 4 years to pursue the claim. So you want to make sure that you probably pursue the claim within the first year or so of something happening, so that you can get the kind of medical treatment to go ahead and make sure that your injuries are appropriately addressed. But you have 4 years to make a claim for any type of personal injury, 2 years for wrongful death.
That sounds good, sounds good. So we're getting ready to wrap up, and just want to leave some food for thought for the people. And if you could leave one thing that you want everybody to have as a takeaway, what's the most important thing that you can tell us? You told us about the insurance, and we got that. We're going to get some insurance. We're going to, the man not going to come to the house anymore to pay it, but we're going to pay our insurance. We've agreed in the green room we're going to have insurance. But one takeaway that you could give us, something that is going to make the difference in our lives legally, what would that be?
The one takeaway that I would say to everyone is, don't be cheeky, share the knowledge. Share the knowledge, because the knowledge is priceless. Is when you go home tonight, tell your loved ones, tell your sister friends what you learned here today and the information that was shared with you, because that could be the difference between life and death, literally. So that's the most important advice that I can give you all today, is make sure that you share the knowledge.
Share the knowledge, share the knowledge. And so I got to ask you, because you just won You're just one of the dope chicks I know. And just tell us a little bit about your side gig that you do that I'm passionate about watching you in, and what does the Two Dope Chicks stand for, and what you all do. Talk about Two Dope Chicks for a minute.
So Two Dope Chicks is a company that myself and my other owner of Two Dope Chicks, Shantae Pride, who's right out in the audience, we started the company really to create safe spaces for women like us to have fun, to go out and have fun and be in a safe environment. You know, we have coined this thing, brunch and bingo, that we love to do every month. Typically on the third Saturday of every month, we choose a venue, a Black-owned venue to go to, because it's very important that we support our own community. And we go and have fun. We have about 200 ladies that come out, and they just enjoy themselves. You know, it's a safe space that they can just release, have a little bit of fun. And then the monies that we make from Two Dope Chicks, we make sure that we pour back into our communities. We're partners with an organization that's called We Care Too. That organization has allowed us to do things like a laundromat buyout, where we've chosen laundromats on each side of Jacksonville, the north side, east side, south side, and the west side. And we go ahead and buy it out every year. And we encourage families to come in and wash their clothes, because believe it or not, there's so many families that don't have things like washer and dryers, and tide is high. Yeah. So we make sure that we allow those families to come in and wash as much as you want. We'll take care of it, we pay for it. We also do community drives as it relates to Pampers and diapers and milk and clothing for infants. That's very important to us. But we're also huge supporters of DCPS. I'm a proud product of Duval County Public Schools. I tremendously support all of our educators, because I know it is a calling and more of a ministry than anything. And so we want to make sure that we support our young people with other opportunities. We just did another event recently, which was the support of HBCUs, where we gave money to identifying Edward Waters University students and giving the money directly to them, so that we can make sure that we do everything that we can to make sure our kids stay in school, because we know the importance of education. So we have fun, we party, but we party with a cause.
You know, I had to bring that out. I just had to bring that out. I wanted you to see why she's the people's attorney, because she really loves people. Thank you so much for being here today, and thank you, audience, for joining us. Thank you for an amazing evening here in the Green Room. The fact that customers, guests, or people in general should feel safe where they live or work, it's the responsibility of the property owner to ensure that security is in place. This is only one of the facts that we learned this week from my sister friend, Millicent Daniels, Esquire. If you've been injured, whether it's in a nightclub, a business, an apartment complex, you may need to contact a personal injury attorney. It could be in your best interest. You need one who will work with you aggressively to get you compensation that you're owed by determining if the negligence of the property owner contributed to your injury. We also learned the importance of not only having insurance, but the right kind of insurance, like uninsured motors, life insurance, property and casualty insurance, health insurance. Having insurance protects your income from unexpected expenses. It protects the money you're saving for future plans, and it gives you the power to protect your family even when you're not around anymore. It protects your emotional health by giving you a peace of mind. I'm sounding the alarm. The wait is over. Go and possess the land in which the Lord thy God has given you. This is me, Mischell Gee, here in the Green Room.
The following show is a paid commercial program. The views and opinions expressed within do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff and management of the Inspired Network.
Our communities have struggled. It's time to rebuild and heal. Now, it's time that we follow the trusted voices and get vaccinated.
We are the heartbeat of the community.
Jacksonville Coronavirus Education and Engagement Task Force.
Hi, Jacksonville. My name is Michelle Holmes with SBR Realty. I am your home buying and selling specialist in the Jacksonville area. I can help anyone, military included, buy a home, sell one quickly. If you have any questions on your home value, please reach out to me for a free home evaluation. Do you need help with your VA loan benefits? My assistance? Call me, Michelle Holmes.
Do you need a morning prayer line? A place you can call to hear from God? Call the International Prayer Council Intercessory Prayer Line, Monday through Saturday at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 904-299-7241. Your financial support keeps the ministry alive. You can be a blessing by sowing via Cash App today at $TeachJax, or you can text to give at 833-481-1524 and text the word give.
Jacksonville, it's the Nothing But the Hits farewell tour of the Williams Brothers. November 5th at the Paxson Revival Center. With special guests, the Swanee Quintet, the Williams Singers, Keith Wonderboy Johnson, and more. Tickets $40 in advance, $50 at the door. VIP available. They're available at Eventbrite, DJ Records, or Paxson Discount Christian Bookstore. For info, call 904-813